Hello, welcome to another video at one of my favorite nurseries. In today's video, we are going to specifically be looking at the Hoya section. In the last video you would have seen at this nursery, I went through some of the other sections. So if you are interested in the different calathea, the different rare plants that they've got, pothos, monsteras, Anthurium. If you're curious about everything else, be sure to check out that video, including skin napses. Check out that video so that you can see what else is in stock. But you know, Hoya is one of my favorite genus, if not my favorite at the moment. So I'm going to do a nice, slow, thought out video on what they've got in stock. And they also actually have one in their rare cabinet that I forgot to capture in the last video when I was in there. So stay tuned for the end. We're going to go over there and see what rare Hoya they've got. Okay, let's start at the top. They've got the Hoya pots. Yeah, you know they've got a lot in stock when they need to use the very top row. The Potsii is in a 4-inch pots and they're for $34.99. They've had this Hoya in here many times before. So the Potsii has larger leaves when it matures, like not huge, but they're not definitely not like a Hoya-curious tiny type of leaf, and it has like pronounced veins on them. As you can see, they've got these long veins. It reminds me of like a cross between an obscura and something else that I can't really pinpoint, but yeah, that's this guy over here. They seem to be pretty easy and they seem to be pretty resilient. I mean, I don't see why not. They don't have any significant variegation or anything like that. So, and they've got pretty woody stems. So I can imagine they'd be pretty easy. Over here is the Hoya pubicalyx. Definitely one of the more popular Hoya, a common one. These can have beautiful sun stressing on them, especially on the new leaves. This nursery doesn't usually have a whole lot of pubicalyx in stock. I mean, I've seen it, but I tend to see them at other nurseries more. I like how the pubicalyx tends to have a little bit of splashing on them as well. And you know what I just realized for the first time? The Hoya AH074 reminds me a lot of the pubicalyx. I wouldn't be surprised if they were very close relatives. The taco-like leaves and a little bit of splashing on it, except the pubicalyx, the leaves are like, I feel like a lot bigger. I think the AH074 can get big like the pubicalyx. I do have big leaves on that one too. But yeah, I feel like when it's way mature, that's when it gets these big leaves. Like look at this one in the back here. That's a pretty big size. Anyways, the pubicalyx is for $14.99 and they are in 4-inch pots. Next is the Hoya tricolor, and it's this ongoing, I don't want to say debate. I guess depends on the forum you're on, but there's this ongoing question on if the tricolor and the crimson princess are the same. So for a long time, I felt like the tricolor and the crimson princess were the same because they have both that inner variegation. But I feel like when I look at them a little bit closer, I feel like the crimson princess has a little bit more of a whiter variegation and the tricolor is more of like a yellowish variegation. It could also be depending on the plant, right? So there's probably no significant difference between the two. This could just be because of the plant. I'm comparing it to my plant versus the plant I see in nurseries. But very many times I've seen what I thought was a crimson princess labeled as a tricolor. Let me know your thoughts down below on the naming of Hoya. I know we've gone a bit overboard in assigning unique names to Hoya that have very little differences, but let me know if you think that the difference in names here are justifiable for the tricolor and the crimson princess. So these ones are in 6-inch pots and they are for $19.99. Next, they've got the pubicalyx. It says these are speckled. Oh, and I think the difference is that these are in larger pots. These are in 6-inch pots and they are for $29.99. And if you like splash, take a look at your pubicalyx, the one you're getting, carefully, because who knows, you may get one with a lot of splash. So if you like splash, you definitely want to look around and get one with lots of splash. And then over here, they've got some more here. And here's a Hoya I don't remember seeing at this nursery before. I could be wrong. I'm sorry if I say that and then I have, but I don't remember this one. So this is labeled as a Hoya Benetotani. How many times can I say that? So that's in a 4-inch pot and it is for $29.99. You know when a Hoya is sort of new-ish to an area because the price tends to be a little bit higher than the ones that have been around for a while. But yeah, it has these all green leaves, which tells me this plant very well could be a very good grower. It has these glossy like leaves that remind me a lot of the Hoya australis. Very glossy, very firm looking. Yep, they're pretty firm. But the australis tends to be obviously a lot more round. These are a lot more elongated and pointed like your typical leaf shape. But yeah, the stems on these aren't woody, they're quite green. So this could just be because it's juvenile. But yeah, this I imagine would be a very fast grower and easy Hoya. Again, because of the all green leaves and they're quite big. I think it'll be pretty easy. One that is not as easy, at least for me, is the Hoya-curious. I'm pretty sure these are probably the same pots that I've seen at this nursery for many, many weeks now. Not many people reach out for these because I do think it's an acquired taste. At first, I never liked the Hoya-curious or the Kentiana. I don't know what name you want to call them. To me, they're very similar, if not the same plant. Another type of Hoya that I feel like, do they even warrant different names? Anyways, let's not go back into that. Yeah, I do find it a little bit difficult. I do find that it drops leaves easier. But at first, I didn't love this until I saw one at Home Depot, and then I just absolutely fell in love with it. It was very highly variegated, and now I'm in love with the taco leaves. I just feel like it's different. It just brings a different look to one's collection. Yeah, check out my houseplant tour or any of my walkthroughs to see what I have mine growing in and its setup. Here is the Hoya Jennifer. I have seen this here at this nursery before. The Hoya Jennifer has these bigger leaves with veins that you can see, these pronounced veining. They're quite dark, and I feel like sometimes, no, you can't feel the veins. No, they're just visible, but you can't really feel them. The Jennifer, I don't know if it's an easy Hoya. I'm pretty sure someone out there will be like, oh, the Jennifer is so easy, so fast growing. I mean, it does have a lot of tendrils if you look here, but I don't know. I don't know if it's easy. Let me know in the comment section down below. I don't know, I just have this feeling that it's not. I don't know. I don't know. But these are for $19.99. The chicken farm, one that does not have a reputation of being easy 100%, is the chicken farm. I remember a couple years ago, at least in COVID-ish time when this was very sought after. It has these very, people call them what they call that expression they use, very prehistoric. I don't know. I really do not know what makes a plant leaf look prehistoric. I actually tried Googling it once. I just thought plants were plants. I didn't realize that plants could look prehistoric, but maybe I'm just not seeing it. I need help seeing this vision. If you want to say it looks a little crusty, I can see that. It doesn't have that typical smooth, very polished like look of many of your Hoya. The leaves are hard and they almost have this sharp edge to them, like they're gonna cut you if you move too quickly next to it, but obviously it won't. But it is pretty. It's not smooth. Let's just say that. What I like about the chicken farm is how big the leaves can get. So having big, unusual looking leaves, to me, that's pretty cool. But as you can see, some of them have like a little bit of that yellowish tint to them. And to me, when I see that in a nursery, if in a nursery it looks like this, not bad, but it looks like there's a little stress, I feel like at my house, like I'm gonna stress you out. You're not gonna like my house. But anyways, the chicken farm is for $19.99. I'm happy to see it at such a lower price, like such a reasonable price for a Hoya that was once very sought after. The Australis that I talked about, we know the Australis Lisa, super popular with the inner golden variegation that I absolutely love. This is for $14.99, the all green leaves, the Australis all green, super fast growing, very easy. In the back here, we've got the fungi. Yeah, a plant that I really wanted at some point because I thought the leaves were super dark, but I was wrong. I think it was just the picture of the video I was watching, just the setting. It was dark. But I really love this. If this was like in a really nice dark leaf, like your villosa or globulosa leaf, yes, I would love that. But this is for 24.99. Over here we've got the Mathilde, easy Hoya. If you have the all green version, when you get into the highly splashy, almost silver like ones, I feel like they start to give a little bit of trouble. I felt like it was only me. I feel like it could have been the specimen I had, but I did have a comment or two that was saying that they also felt like their Mathilde would do great, their splashy Mathildes would do great, and then almost have a period of when it just stops doing great, and then you have to restart it. Or was it the Mathilde? No, it wasn't the Mathilde. They said that about the Lacunosa Mincorn. Okay, no, wrong plant. Sorry, but yeah, my Mathilde silver is troublesome. This one is for 14.99. They've got some Mathilde, some more Mathildes down here. Tinier ones for 7.99. They've got some Hoya-curious. It just seems like your typical carnosa for the same seven. Is it a carnosa? No, these are compactas. What am I saying? I guess they're so small I couldn't quite see. I didn't notice, I should say, because it's clear that these leaves are curled. They're for 7.99. Yeah, I really love the Hoya compactor now. They used to scare me so much when I first started with Hoya. But I have two, but I don't have two. I have I have two kinds, the inner and outer variegated. I had two of the outer variegated. And so I just recently merged them together in like a Patreon and YouTube membership video. So hopefully they don't croak. They're both growing in pon. And here we have the Hoya-curious, a Hoya that I could never quite get into. There's something about the Carrii that doesn't attract me. This is for 19.99. It's beautiful, especially the variegated forms. Like there was a time when I was tempted, but I like to step back from plants to a certain plant to see if I really want it or if it's just like, it's pretty, get it, or if it's something that I genuinely want. Okay, so we saw this guy. This was the fungi. We saw one in the back earlier. They've got the Hoya rositas. These are for 29.99. Basically, to me, they look like non-variegated Weyettii and Kentianas. I know that, not that I know. I want to believe that there's more differences with them. I guess they've got shorter, stubbier leaves versus the Kentianas have longer, more slender, and just a harsher taco-like look to them. But to me, they're quite similar. And then over here, they've got, is it a Chelsea? No, it's just a carnosa, just regular carnosa for 9.99. Over here. And then next to it is a Quinquenervia for 19.99. Reminds me a lot of the Potsii. That's it. So the Potsii reminds me, I think of the Quinquenervia and the, what's that other one that I had said? Quinquenervia and the Obscura. It feels like a combination between the two. I'm sure there exists out there the exact cross or the exact parents of that Potsii, but that's just what it looks like to me. The Quinquenervia is for 19.99. It has sort of broader leaves that remind me more of like a latifolia type leaf, and then like the veins that remind me a lot of an Obscura. But yeah, so they've got some more down here on the bottom. Down here, and what Hoya is this? Is this a Hoya? I remember when I first saw this, like maybe 2 years ago, I used to think is this a Hawaiian? Oh, no. Okay, this is a Hoya. It looks like a type of Lacunosa. It's a Hoya parviflora, SP parviflora, and it's for 17.99. I remember seeing this at like Lowe's and those kind of stores like way back in the day. It has like these long leaves, and they get very sun stressed, like in this dark purple. It just reminds me a whole lot of what's it called? The one we just saw. pubicalyx, like a baby pubicalyx with the splash and the sun's dressing. But it has a beautiful splashy leaves. It definitely looks like a type of lacunosa. And then over here they've got the Hoya latifolia, one of my favorites here. And then next to it, this one, I always forget the name of this Hoya. This is the Hoya melliflua. That's it. The Hoya melliflua. Very simple, just your typical green leaves. If anything, it reminds me of a tree in the Caribbean, like especially in Barbados. There's a tree by the beach that has very similar leaves. Yeah. And then over here, there's the Hoya Crimson Queen, very tiny ones we know it because of the outer variegation. And then next to it is the Hoya, what's this? A Hoya crassipetiolata. This is one of my favorite kinds of Hoya. It's super fast growing, but the splash to me is so much nicer. I would still get the crassy, like just the plain all green one. Like I do think this is also very beautiful, but the splashy one just has so much splash and beauty to it. This one they're in 4-inch pots, so they're in smaller pots and they're for $17.99. So that's the size of the pot here. And then next to it is the Hoya. I would like to say this is the one with abs, but this is the Hoya black margin. Yep, for $29.99. This is their Hoya section today, and it's a nice selection. It's pretty cool. They've got some interesting things to see. Sometimes they even have the Hoya-curious. I remember when I first saw the Hoya-curious here, like I've bought the Hoya-curious from here I think twice before, and I probably would even buy another one if I saw another one for like a good price. I'm in love with that Hoya. But anyways, the new Hoya that they've got, that's in the rare cabinet. Let's take a walk over to see. But in the meantime, you can take a peek at the other plants that they've got. So over here, they've got the Hoya calistophylla. Over here, it's for $49.99. It is an SP calistophylla. It's in a 4-inch pot, and it's for $50. And yeah, it's really pretty. It has light green leaves with dark green veins. Like that is really beautiful. Not gonna lie, that's really cool. And I really like the contrast, the green on green, and I like the slight yellowish tinge of those leaves. That is really cool. That is really cool. I can see this being a lovely plant in a collection. But yeah, this is really nice. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel so that you can enjoy some of my other content, which is absolutely free to watch. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.